Where are they now? The 14-year-old kid that put together the most viral high school basketball mixtape ever, 7th Woods. 9 years ago, Hoopmixtape uploaded a video of 7th Woods that some consider to be the greatest high school mixtape ever posted. The otherworldly athleticism and skill level he possessed as a freshman in high school was unheard of at the time. He was destroying the ankles of defenders with his killer crossover. He was blocking shots like he had the height of a center. But most notably, he was throwing down some of the filthiest dunks we have ever seen. The original video uploaded by Hoopmixtape turned 7th Woods into a basketball celebrity and currently has over 16 million views. He was considered as the #1 freshman in the country, and most people believed he would eventually become an NBA star. But 7th was a freshman in high school almost a decade ago, and a lot of people don't have a clue what has happened to him since his viral moment. So in this video, I will be talking about everything that has happened in the life and basketball career of 7th Woods since he first went viral. All throughout his childhood, everyone knew 7th was destined to be great in basketball. He was bigger than most guards his age all the way through middle school and first played on the Hammond School's varsity team in the 8th grade. 7th quickly proved he belonged at this level, averaging 15 points per game as a 13-year-old kid. The quickness, athleticism, and defensive impact he displayed at this age showed us just a glimpse of his potential in basketball. He already stood at 5'11" as an 8th grader, but grew to 6'2" and put on a good amount of muscle in his freshman year. And his points per game grew with him, jumping from 15 a night to 19. This is around the time when people really started taking notice of his game. His legendary mixtape was uploaded to YouTube right after his 9th grade season ended, and he quickly became regarded as the best freshman in the country. Before his highlights surfaced the internet, the basketball community didn't have a clue who 7th Woods was. But now that the video took social media by storm, everyone wanted to see more of this 14-year-old kid. And 7th delivered in his sophomore year, becoming even more dominant. He averaged 20 points, 4 steals, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds a game. Those are some crazy numbers for a 15-year-old on varsity. Being elite on both ends of the court is what really separated him from the other guys in his class. Sure, everything he was doing on offense was incredible, but you could argue the impact he brought on the defensive end was more impressive. 7th was very quick laterally. He was a great perimeter and interior defender. His instincts on defense were spectacular. And again, he averaged 4 steals per game. As 7th continued to get older, the expectations and pressure continued to rise at a rapid rate. Going into his junior year, everyone wanted to see what more he could pull off. Well, 7th continued to shine at Hammond, and he led the school to its first state title in 16 years, and then followed up his championship season by winning South Carolina Mr. Basketball in his senior year. His popularity and ranking slightly faded throughout the last few years of high school, but nonetheless, it was very clear he was a spectacular player. He finished high school as a 4-star recruit, ranked at 59th best in the class of 2016. All of the success earned 7th some Division I offers, and he narrowed down his top 4 to Florida, UNC, South Carolina, and Georgetown. A lot of people believed he would stay home and choose South Carolina, but he decided it was in his best interest to be a Tar Heel. Going into his first year at UNC, 7th was expected to have an immediate impact at the collegiate level, but things did not go according to plan as he only averaged 3 points and shot inefficiently as a freshman. 7th did play in all 40 games during that 2016-2017 season, but he was the backup point guard behind Joel Berry, who was an established player in UNC's basketball program, a guy who went on to play professionally. 7th was very understanding of being a backup, but that doesn't take away from the fact that it greatly impacted his game. He said when you play behind a guy like Joel, who's really good and already established, you always have a short leash. So you become robotic and try to do exactly what coach asks. You're not yourself because if you mess up being yourself, then you feel like you're done. That was my problem. 7th's confidence on the basketball court started to decrease as a result, and he didn't improve at all during his next 2 years as a Tar Heel. He saw action in just about every single one of the games he was healthy for, but he was just not performing well in the loaded ACC. These underwhelming first 3 years in college led 7th to transfer to South Carolina for his 4th year. Due to transfer rules, he ended up redshirting during the 2019-2020 season and played his first minutes for the team during the pandemic season. And he ended up improving statistically with the Gamecocks, averaging 5 points, 2 assists, and 2 rebounds. Not the craziest numbers, but injuries and everything going on with COVID made it hard for him to find consistency. Now, because this season didn't actually count against any player's eligibility, 7th decided to return for a 5th season of college hoops. He could have finished his collegiate basketball career playing for South Carolina, but he wanted a fresh start and decided to transfer to Morgan State for the 2021-2022 season, which is a much smaller Division I school in Maryland. At Morgan State, 7th didn't put up crazy numbers like most of you are hoping, but his impact on the Bears this past year was extremely valuable to the team. When talking about 7th, Morgan State head coach Kevin Broadus said, "I wouldn't trade him for anything. Forget the stats, he has been a special person." He played his final game with Morgan State on March 16th, 2022, and this is the last time we have seen him play organized basketball. And since Sports Illustrated released this new segment on him, 7th has been completely out of the media. I tried finding articles, went through his socials, did just about everything I could to try and find something recent, but I couldn't. And if I had to guess, this is something that is intentional. Immense pressure and large expectations have been placed on 7th since he was a 14-year-old kid, and once he got on the bigger stage at UNC, it became increasingly overwhelming and his numbers dropped significantly for the rest of his basketball career. He was often put on a different pedestal because of his early fame, but in reality, he wanted to be off the radar. The biggest downside to his game at the next level was that UNC just wasn't a good place for him at all. It was very hard for him to adjust to the Tar Heels style of play, and he did not fit with the team, which of course is going to affect the mental side that comes with basketball. The thought of being harshly criticized for doing something wrong was detrimental to 7th's confidence, and the second guessing of his playing ability is something that was present to some degree throughout a lot of his college career. While his situation in college is pretty unfortunate, I'm still very glad he was able to play in 5 seasons post high school. A few months ago, he said his ultimate goal is to play professionally, which I think is a real possibility. Over the past couple years, his confidence has been slowly coming back, and 7th does have the potential to play overseas if he puts in enough work. He's a very mature 6'2" point guard who has become an extremely resilient player due to everything that has gone on in his life since his viral moment. And while he might not have put up the craziest numbers in college, 7th Woods is a certified hooper. He helped start a new wave of young prodigies and will always be praised in the basketball community. If you are curious as to whatever happened to the 11-year-old prodigy, Jayshon Augusto, make sure you check out the video we did on him, because if you like this video, you will love that one. As always, thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next one.